Hi, hello everyone. So thank you for standing by with us. As you can see, my name is Mervin, and we're about to start a very special edition of Connect, coming straight out of the lockdown. So most of us are at home. Most of us are working from home. And hello everyone. So thank you for standing by with us. As you can see, my name is Mervin, and we're about to start a very special edition of Connect, coming straight out of the lockdown. So most of us are at home. Most of us are working from home. And hello everyone. So thank you for standing by with us. As you can see, my name is Mervin, and we're about to start a very special edition of Connect, coming straight out of the lockdown. So most of us are at home. Most of us are working from home. And hello everyone. So thank you for standing by with us. As you can see, my name is Mervin, and we're about to start a very special edition of Connect, coming straight out of the lockdown. Issues. So most of us are at home. Most of us are working from home. And are working from home. And hello. I hope it's clear now, and we don't have that recorded voice that kept playing. So working from home, and I hope that everyone's able to hear me. So I hope it's clear now, and we don't have that recorded voice that kept playing. So working from home, and I hope that everyone's able to hear me. So I hope it's clear now, and we don't have that recorded voice that kept playing. So working from home, I think we're having some technical difficulties, so just give us a minute. Okay, we will have to put this on pause right now. It's clear now, and we don't have that recording. Okay, I hope this is better. People are able to hear me without any of the you know resonating noise, and this should I believe this should work out fine. So okay, this is one of the hazards of when we used to sit and work together. This is better. People are able to hear me without any of the you know resonating noise, and this should I believe this should work out fine. So okay, this is one of the hazards of when we used to sit and work together. This is better. People are able to hear me without any of the you know resonating noise, and this should I believe this should work out fine. So Okay, so this is one of those days, technical difficulties galore. So hopefully now I've resolved it, and because we have to have a backup for a backup. So anyways, hopefully everything is clear now. People can hear me. I'm sorry for the initial delay, but certain things are, you say, okay, certain things are unavoidable. And yeah, okay. So let's start. If everyone's able to hear me and it's all good, I'm looking for a sign from my team saying thumbs up or anything right now, because I'm running a bit blind over here. So just give me a minute, waiting for my team to. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah. Okay, without further ado, I will continue with this edition of Konnect, DNIF Konnect, that is coming straight from the lockdown, right? Everyone's at home, everyone's working from home. I know it's a stressful situation, right? We're trying to do the best to keep this lighthearted and making it fun for everyone, right? We're all stuck at home. We're all, just working, trying to get the best out of our day and trying to get the best out of work and being as productive as possible. So my initial job is to obviously moderate NIF Connect and also take people through what is NIF Connect, right? The initial start is always with what is NIF Connect. So Connect is basically something that we came up with. The leader of the organization, Mr. Shaumaran Das Gupta, he came up with this idea that we want to have some place where we can have all our people, like all existing community members and users, partners, customers come together and collaborate on Connect. So this was initially that. But then it grew and it evolved to something that is now a community wherein people can, from every aspect of cybersecurity can come together and speak about not just the offensive part, but the defensive part of cybersecurity. Work together. We speak to people from technology, technology partners, experts from the industry, the domain, who come here and speak about stuff and share wisdom and knowledge with people, right, with community members, and people can freely ask questions and interact with them, and also get an idea as to what is currently happening and what we need to focus on. So that is Connect. That's the whole idea behind Connect, and what Connect actually is. So yeah, one of the things that a part of the Connect and the whole community aspect is to focus on things that are of major concern right now. I know everyone. This is something that you might find hard to escape. It's there. It's everywhere. It's in the news. People are talking about it. The best thing that you can do is stay home, stay safe, and stay productive. This is the best way that you can do. You can protect your community. You can protect your society. You can protect everyone by staying at home, staying safe, and remaining calm. That's the most important thing, right? So stay productive and stay at home. That's the way to go. Simple instructions to keep yourself and your family members safe at this point in time is just basically wash your hand, protect yourself from getting sick, and protect others from getting sick. So it's always important. Some of these things, some of these basic hygiene things that we forgot over time is coming back to us now, and we really need to follow this. It's important for everyone. Think about yourself, think about your loved ones. That's the major thing. Also, another thing about a lot of information is rumors. A lot of information is right, is sometimes rumors. Now, what is the definition of a rumor? Some information that you get but is not validated, or is not, doesn't have any backing behind any you know legal government, or you say it could be any authoritative body that comes ahead and says this is what you need to keep in mind. That is called a rumor. So spreading that information, just be careful, be cautious about spreading rumors, because that spreads like wildfire, and we have to be very cautious at this point in time. There's a lot happening around the world, so, and a lot of bad things happening, so it's not good to add to all those bad things. So these are the places that you can get more protective, measures and information that basically helps you and guides you as to what is currently happening and how much do you need to focus on your own health and the health of your society and the people around you. So this is one. Obviously, we'll have this link put to everyone on chat so that everyone can actually go there and visit. Okay, this is legit site from the WHO, so you can obviously refer to that. Yeah, so also at this point in time, there is something that, one of my colleagues says is very important thing. And I'd like to quote because it's very nice. And what she mentions is very important. Now, attackers choose their lures carefully. Now, in many ways, their lures prove very reliable when it comes to measuring public interest and awareness. Okay, so this is from her. This is some information that actually makes a lot of sense because, you don't understand how it affects or how it, comes to certain people when they're dealing with all of this. They're dealing with a lot of stress, working from home, doing all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, you run to these mediums to find solace and comfort, and it's used against you, right? So these heat maps, these text messages that come, so these are basically rumors. These are not actually rumors, they're basically phishing attacks that are happening. So I'm in touch with a lot of threat intel partners that are actually talking about doing a special about this. So trying to get that up and ready so that we have people aware and ready to act upon all of these things and avoid all of these things basically. Yeah, this is one of the good parts. So how do you, at this point in time, how do you work from home and stay productive, and how do you make it fun? Very important thing. People are, apart from the hygiene, if you're doing that, the productivity and the fun part is not happening exactly for everyone. So it's a few simple things. Schedule yourself, right? A lot break times and lunch time. Okay. It's important that you snack healthy. Okay. Account for workouts. It basically, please include workouts. Is the best time that you should work out. You're at home, you can do simple exercises at home. Avoid overworking and get plenty of rest. That's also a very important thing because we tend to lose track of time we're at home, and we don't have to leave for any other place, right? So you're stuck at home right now. So make sure you do not work and get plenty of rest. And most important, stick to your schedule. Whatever schedule you make, follow it religiously. Important. And how to cope with social distancing and lockdown. That's another thing, right? We're so social. Humans are basically social animals, right? We like to interact with people, we like to talk. So right now what we're doing is we're using technology, right? So let's interact without risk, with the minimalistic of risks that can be taken. Use technology to stay in touch, connect with people living with you and around you. It could be your family members, this could be your neighbors, this could be your flatmates. If you're living away from families, just connect with them, and you can still interact and still connect with people. Use technology. Exercise, meditate, and stick to your daily routine as much as possible. Exercise and meditation is the most important. Remember, meditation is something that will help you at this point in time to keep that level mind and that active mind at work, right? So support your friends and family. It's an important part. Be helpful, stick out for your community as much as possible without, with the least amount of risk. That is what is important at this point. So yeah, we're streaming live on YouTube. Okay, so this is the channel. In case you get disconnected at any point and time, all you need to do is go to youtube.com/nifhq and you can view. So we have a great lineup today, right, with our presenters, and they have some good topics that they want to share with the community members. So that's a great thing. So in case you just drop off, remember, this is the link. Okay, and yeah, as always, we invite community members to come ahead, and share, and share the information. You get a chance to become a Connect community hero, and join the ranks of the following gentlemen that have been a part of this whole thing from multiple various domains. They come with all their security expertise. We had students, we had security experts, we had head of SOC for multiple locations, and threat intel experts, all of these people. So it's a great thing. They come here and they share their information. Also, thanks to all our technology partners who helped us for the previous connects, and enabled us with a lot of the technology, a lot of their information, a lot of their help in that manner. So I know I've been talking a lot, right? And so I'll just move ahead. But you have to understand it's a very important thing at this point in time. It's important to make sure that the community and everyone in your and everyone that's around you stays safe and stays secure and knows what is right and what is wrong. Be informed. That's very important. So as the agenda, as you can see today, we have Kaushal Parekh from Cyber. So he's going to talk about cloud security, orchestration, and automation, and we'll closely follow that with Harshita Chawla, who will talk about detection of attack techniques using NIF. So without further ado, I am going to pass it on to Kaushal Parekh, basically, who's going to talk about stuff. So in my whole flow of things, now I have made a bit of a boo-boo. So I have, I usually have an introduction written down, but at this point in time, it got lost in translation. Okay, so I would like to rely on the people themselves, Kaushal Parekh and Harshita Chala, to actually introduce themselves. Just on a general, just give us a little bit about yourself, so that all the people who are attending, as you can see, can get to know a little bit about you. Okay, and then we can take it forward for them. So Kaushal, without further ado, over to you.
Um, Thank you, Marvin, for the introduction. So let me quickly present my screen. I think you have to stop sharing, Marvin.
Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep. Um, so as like Mervin mentioned, this talk is about cloud security orchestration and automation, right? Now, cloud is something that most organizations are using nowadays, say for their operations, reducing the management cost, etc. Right? Many are even using services from different cloud vendors in the same organization to basically get the best out of everything. I wanted to have this session mainly because as we all are in quarantine and like many of our organization may have shifted to cloud for better reachability and ease of developers, right? Thus increasing the threat landscape for the attackers. And it's more important now more than ever to focus around what orchestration is and how it can help your organization to bring down to like say uh, match the MTT and to mainly give your CISO or CIO a clear picture of your current landscape. Saying that if you are a CISO or a CIO attending this session, you might be having a lot of questions on how to have a thread of security to monitor the huge landscape and how to reduce the threat vectors. In this session, I will try to clear all of your doubts and questions around this. Um, so, about me, I'm a threat researcher at Cyber Labs. I've previously worked as DevOps and security engineer at MyGlam. My areas of interest include security automation, designing secure solutions, cloud automation, and designing pipelines. So I think this is the best place where I can share all of my say learnings, my past learnings, and all of my experience regarding the cloud security and like orchestrating stuff. So my main role at Cyber Labs right now is to orchestrate various security technologies, try to have a like thread between all of those technologies, trying to like make all those technologies talk with like with each other. So I guess this is where like this is the platform I think like this should be shared. So starting with the main slide, are you sure this is how we get data into the cloud? I just started. I just wanted to start this session like in a in a light manner, so that I know like right now everyone is stressed about this coronavirus. Everyone is stressed already at their homes. Like they have the extra burden, especially the IT teams, from their organizations to perform some extra tasks, right? So I wanted this session to be quite light as possible. Also, even though it's light, I want everyone to get something out of this session. So if you have any doubts, any questions during the session, you can just ping in the Q&A session, in the Q&A in the chat, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible. Okay. Um, so Here we go. So about cyber, right now we are around 200 people with 80 developers, 7 teams, and 15 cloud technologies working together, right? So now among these 200 people, everyone, you can say, has like different kind of roles. There are the marketing people, there are the developers, there are the security people. Everyone has their own roles, and like everyone has their specific expertise in their own area, right? So why this point is, because when we say the security landscape, or like when we say the cloud landscape, it depends on the technologies that you use together in your organization, the the landscape that you have in your organization. So say this 200 people and these 7 teams have their own kind of tasks, and on top of that, there are the security people who are say applying new policies, applying some say new security rules, say only allowing some specific technologies to access through the VPN, right? So all of this, somewhere or the other, say increases an overload on the developers. Say when they were working from the offices, right? They could like freely access all of the data, because like, obviously the internal network has all of that connectivity easily possible. But when you like say work from home, you have to spawn out additional infra to support all of the people like working from outside. You have to maintain that like 100% uptime, or say 99.9% uptime. You also have to uh, bring security like around all these products, right? So this is the best time when you could implement some of the orchestrations and automations in your organization. So about cloud security orchestration and automation, um, first I would like to highlight what's the major difference between orchestrations and automations, right? We this is a hot topic, so like we also had this topic in the last NIF Connect, I guess, and everyone is talking about SOAR, orchestrations, automations. So there is a lot of I say misunderstandings and say a lot of myths behind this. So I would like to clear some of them here. So the major difference between orchestration and automation is when you perform one single task, right? That's called an automation. And when you have a series of products talk with each other, or you can say a series of actions happening dependent on the response from one another, that's when you say the orchestration is happening. um, to have the audience a better picture, and to like have them realize more like what is the major difference between orchestration and automation. I have an example. Say like you are traveling, you are like planning to travel abroad. I know like this is the worst time possible to bring this up, but yeah, like if you are like trying to travel abroad, you maybe like say uh, apply for passport, right? maybe you will try to say book the hotels, book the flights, book the various cabs, like which you will be needing when like reaching the destination, right? So all of these separate tasks, say booking the flight tickets, booking the hotel tickets, are say you can say are a, a type of automation. Maybe you can automate that, maybe you cannot, but you can say those specific tasks are like individually called as automation. Now say you have hired like one of the agent to to carry out all of this stuff for you. So that's where the orchestration comes in place. So what that agent will do for you is he will say maybe apply for your uh, visas. Maybe he will like look around all the portals and like check where the cheapest hotels are available, where the cheapest flights are available. He will collect that all that information in like one place. Then like you can directly communicate with that agent to know like what's the best price and like what's the like what all packages are like maybe available for you to select, right? So so like relating that with the security orchestration and automation, it's the same thing. When you want just one automation, say like when you want to put like when you want to add an intel in like say one of your EDRs, or say like when you want to automatically generate a say a Jira ticket, or say like you want to automatically build a code, that's all come into picture for the automations. Now see, when you want to do a series of tasks, right? Like first I want to build a package, then I want to say like if there are some security flaws in it, then I want to check if like that particular technology is like using like any of the like already say attacked product. For example, like I'm using a product which already has CV available in the market. So like maybe I don't want to use that product, right? So all those things, all those talking, you can say, are gathered in a place like an agent, which can orchestrate between all of those. So a series of automations is called an orchestration. Moving forward, so um, okay, now talking about the cloud landscape, or say you can say talking about the cloud computing landscape, only just um, like like when you bring out only the cloud computing landscape, it has so many of the technologies under it. Also, like there are further bifurcations such as infrastructure as a service, you can say cloud security, you can say this distribution channels. So all of these technologies are say the the besting part in like one particular say area. Say the Amazon Web Services is has like provides good infrastructure as a service. Now say the LifeLock or the Palo Alto network gives good cloud security. Now like when you say the platform as a service, again like there is the AWS, there is the force there is the force.com. So all of this, you can see cloud computing technologies are best in the area of like what they provide, right? Now if I'm an organization and I want like okay, I want to use AWS, and I want to use force, and I want to use Palo Alto networks for the security. Now like I want to have uh, a say clear picture of uh, landscape. Now, even if you go into the AWS, there are various other technologies like uh, which like maybe used for the infrastructure as a service, right? So, I as a person or I as a CISO want to have a clear picture of the entire landscape, because attackers can attack from, you can say, like anywhere, right? So, if I want to like build some security around all of this, I need to first have a clear picture as to what what all technologies are being used in my organization. If I can automate some of the action items in this, if I can orchestrate with this with some of the security providers to say give a better uh, say a better protection for all of these technologies, so I should do that, right? So, when we talk about cloud orchestration, some of the use cases are, say, DevOps, uh, reducing the development lifecycle, scalability of containerized architecture, and reducing the downtime. So, when I talk about DevOps, you can say that day to day in a day to day life cycle of a developer, like he writes number of code, and he has to follow through many iteration first, maybe he will push out to dev, then the staging, then the prod, right? So all of that maybe can have an orchestration built around that. So that's where the DevOps comes into picture. You can say maybe automatically push to dev, and then say if there are no bugs found, you can automatically push to the staging, and again if there are no bugs found, you can push the same code to the production, right? So all of this reduces the development life cycle, and say makes the life easier for a developer, right? So like like when I say about orchestration, I want to I want you guys to have this clear picture as to what this cloud orchestration is all about, and what are the use cases around this, how I can use them in my organization to some of the problems which I'm facing, right? So moving ahead, about the cybersecurity landscape, right? So now again, this cybersecurity landscape is such a huge point, right? If I am an large organization, uh, I may have different products from all of these areas. Say I have some product uh, in the network security, I have some product in the endpoint security, I have some product in the web security, I have some product which has the best firewall, I have some product which defends the web applications, right? So now again, there are, you can say, a lot of information that is shared inside, say like like one of the technologies that can be that can be reusable in multiple other technologies. Say I have some threat intelligence, and I want to push that threat intelligence across various of my products. Say that's a use case for the orchestration. Now say I have some other, you can say I have some signatures that are coming in from the threat intelligence products. I want to quickly push it out to the web security products, right? Because the web security will be maybe blocking those signatures, etc. So all of those, you can say, talking between each of the technologies is where the orchestration comes into picture, right? Okay, so when we talk about orchestrations and making an orchestration, developing an orchestration, designing an orchestration, we should first keep in mind the incident response lifecycle. Okay, why? Because say each of those orchestration um, can have some of the use cases, can have say uh, say some of the points built around the incident response lifecycle. So, when I say the incident response lifecycle, so to explain that, um, the incident response lifecycle is say a life cycle containing everything from the preparation stage to the post incident activities. So like when you try to defend something in your organization, you start with the preparation phase. You have some technologies built in to detect and like analyze some of your attacks in your organization. You now have like some more security products rolled out to contain, eradicate, and recover from an attack. And then like you have some technologies to do the post incident activities. So like when I talk about the incident response life cycle, say um, okay, so like when I talk about incident response life cycle, we should definitely keep in mind that all of this is somewhere or the other related to each other. Say I have some SIM technologies to detect you can say a security incident. I have some technologies to prepare or to already block like some of the say security incident from happening. That comes in the preparation stage. I have some technologies like SIMs to say detect and like analyze and attack. I have some technologies built in, like you can say EDRs, to contain and like eradicate as soon as possible the incident. I have some technologies like you can say volatility. So I can say maybe do some forensics on like say any of the RAM or say something like that. So all of this is like built around a life cycle. So when we design a say use case around for like an orchestration, we should keep in mind the incident response life cycle, because it will help us to make our use case better, right? So like maybe like as soon as my SIM detects an technology, like as soon as my SIM detects an attack, maybe I will quickly block that IP, or say roll out a new signature on the go in my EDRs, so that even if an attack is live, the attacker's landscape will be reduced. The attackers say um, the attack might get contained as soon as possible. Maybe I don't even have to go for the post incident activities, right? So the main focus here is to how quickly you can respond to an attack, how quickly you can contain that, right? Now, talking about that, okay, so now talking about that, the average time to identify a breach is around 60 days in an organization. That's like 2 months. And like the longest time to identify a breach was 1,320 days. That's like 3 years. That's like an attacker was sitting in my organization more than say many of my employees. Say like I have like only some of the employees like who are in the same organization for say more than 3 years. The attacker was in that organization for 3 years, so like maybe he will be knowing more on the like more about the landscape uh, than say my longest staying employee. You you like do you get the point that um if I could identify or say detect those kind of attacks and say stop those kind of attacks when like they were happening on the go, right? So like maybe this all wouldn't have happened altogether, right? Moving ahead, I have some uh, demo prepared out, so to like give you all audience an explanation about like what orchestration is, and like how to think of an say orchestration use case, or say build an orchestration by yourself. So I have the first demo on AWS rogue security group policy check. Okay, so like why I'm choosing this say orchestration is because like because I see nowadays a lot of people are like using AWS. So I guess so I guess that many of you might be able to like quickly relate to this topic. Another thing like why I want to like have this use cases, say, like nowadays, like when you are all at home, right? So like many of you might be requesting to your managers to say whitelist some of the rules, to say some of the products, to say some of the databases, to say some of the web applications from your house itself, right? So that kind of say security group rules might be activated right now for you, but after all of this this lockdown is completed, and like you are again like going out to your office, right? So at that point of time, those rules might not be necessary for you, right? So so like how you can quickly detect those like say security groups, I have this use case for that. Okay, so like one thing to note in this is like I have like um, made this use case such that all of the technologies that I'm going to use are going to talk with each other. So you can like have a picture like when you can like how you can correlate between different kind of technologies. So that's like one of the point I want you guys to say take from this demo. So quickly moving on to the demo. I guess some of you have questions.
Hi. Kaushal, not to disturb you or anything,
Yeah.
but just in case if anyone, any of the attendees have any questions, just feel free to hit the Q&A tab, okay, and very freely ask your questions. So we'll address those questions, as and when it comes in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah. So moving on to the demo. So okay, open EC2 security rules playbook. Okay, so I have this entire playbook written in the Jupyter notebook. Now, say there are some other technologies which have their own, say, SOAR like rolled out, which can do this quickly for you. But like if you are in an organization where you don't want to invest in like such of the technologies, you can like quickly use the Jupyter notebooks, and like you can quickly leverage the REST APIs available in your security products, and like you can make a use case around that, right? So starting with the demo. Yep. Quickly imported all the libraries that are necessary. Right. So now again, to highlight this point, I have like whitelisted some of the rule names and the port numbers. Why? Because like I know that in my organization there are some technologies which use some like weird port numbers, like in this case 8889, and like I know that like maybe they will be using this for some of the upgrades, or like say um, maybe they will be internally talking with say different products, and like maybe it's a necessity for them to keep those ports open. So like we can anytime keep these ports whitelisted, because we don't want the alerts which are rolled out to be say false positives, or say the alerts which are not going to be useful again and again, right? So I like wanted to also like highlight in this, because like I see that that a major issue right now for all of the organization is there are a lot of false positives, there are a lot of noise created in an SIM, which in like wherein the actual, you can say, the actual alert maybe uh, maybe say get left out, or say that alert might not get attended to, right? So like always you can have such things in your orchestrations. Also, all of these passwords are already deactivated. So okay, quickly jumping back. Right. Right. So I have this function built wherein I check all of the IP ranges and like say all of the security groups all around the regions in my AWS. And if I found a rule wherein it says 0.0.0.0, wherein like uh, all incoming traffic is accepted, I like simply raise an alert like for the same. Right. I've also a different function built up to send an email. Now, now like again coming to the point about orchestration and automation, these two individual functions are say an automation in itself, and like when I combine these two functions to like perform in a serial manner, that's when it becomes an orchestration. Quickly pushing out the message which I've run. Yeah, I have also parsed out all of the information from the AWS response and like parsed out the port number and the rule name and also the link to the rule. So like when you have that email sent out to your say SOC manager, like he will have all those information handy, right? So quickly jumping on to this, see here, like there is a rule which is accepting all incoming traffic for the port 3389. Like quickly revoked those two inbound rules, and I'm like good to go. Now this entire say um, from the detection to the response took like less than 1 minute, right? So that's how quickly you can detect and like respond to a threat in your organization. Isn't it great? Now to my second demo, I have a use case for rogue user check. I have like built an orchestration wherein like say if an attacker say gains some of your access key and secret key for your for the AWS account, or say an attacker gets the username password for like say for say one of the AWS users, he might try to create a backdoor say say organization AWS so that he can again and again access the AWS services whenever he wants, right? So like such type of use cases can be built here like query like querying CloudTrail for new user created. If the CloudTrail returns result, uh, I will like go ahead. Otherwise, I will just stop my playbook there. Again, if that user which is created on the CloudTrail quickly send out an email, quickly raise an incident in your incident management tool to like track like why this is happening, if this is legit or like something like that, right? Quickly jumping on to the demo, I think there are some questions. I think I will answer them after this session.
Yeah, that's completely fine, I believe. Once again, if anyone has any questions, just hit the Q&A tab. It's at the bottom. You just see it. Click the Q&A tab and ask your questions, and yeah, we'll address them.
Okay. So I'm again importing out of the libraries. Yep. I've again written a function to look up events in my AWS CloudTrail. Now, like if like some of you don't have a like an idea about like what AWS CloudTrail is, it like monitors all of your say um, say functions used, or say even if a user clicks a link in the AWS, all of that is monitored by the CloudTrail. So like if you want to backtrack an incident and say, okay, like why did this actually happen, you can go bit by bit and say exactly track when and where and by whom that change had been made and like why that incident happened, right? So that's a providing by AWS again. Okay, I have this function written to retrieve the records from the ServiceNow, like ServiceNow instance. And again, as I just mentioned before, the ServiceNow instance is like somewhere wherein I like log in all of my users' data, so that I have a central repository of all of my users in my organization, right? Like you can use the Active Directory here, or like any of the say user management softwares in this place. Okay, now the developer version of ServiceNow is like free for everyone. So you can after this demo quickly uh, like check them out, and you can also like use those APIs for free and like try out like if like in your organization some use cases may be built around that. I've spawned this instance already. So I have the list of users present in my organization here. See all of the information present, right? So for my final, I have the function built for sending out an email. Now again, I can reuse the same function in like say different of my orchestration use cases, right? So like that automation is again like uh, reusable. So like if you go and like check out some of the SOAR technologies, they have say this automations built up, and like you can say use those automations, use those actions anywhere in your orchestration, like wherever is possible. Because like say this like sending out an email is like say an recurring task, right? So I have an action built already for that, and then in my orchestration, whenever I want to like use that action, I can like quickly call that up in my orchestration playbooks, right? So this returned. So I would like query the CrowdTrail if like any new user has been created in the in like say the past 24 hours. So it has returned me um, this response, quickly parsing it out for the audience. It's a JSON response from CloudTrail. So again, like I will be reusing this information in my further orchestration use cases. So I wanted the audience to have a clear picture. You can say everything is here, right? The username, uh, the the resource name, the CloudTrail raw log, everything is present here. Now again, I'm parsing out some of the more information. You can say this is somewhat in a jumbled state. I've like parsed out that information as well. I can just see here the event name here is the create user. The create user API has been called, right? So in my final function, yeah. Here you can see that I have in this orchestration I have like quickly checked that if my AWS like any like new user has been created, and like I've checked the same on the service now. Now the service now returned me an empty response. That means that user is not present in my service now, right? So it's definitely a rogue user that has been created, right? So again, I can quickly send out the parched email to my admin so that he can quickly take some of the steps, some of the preventive and the responsive steps for that. Yep. I have this parsed out email here. So I have like parsed out all of the information. You can say the account ID, the username, the possible compromise details, such as what user has been compromised, the compromise time, the account ID, the access key ID, which may be compromised, the attacker IP address, right? So all of this is available in the CloudTrail logs. You just have to parse it out, and it's in a standard format, so you can always quickly parse it out by yourself. Uh, for my presentation. Thank you everyone for listening to this. And if you have any questions, I can answer it right now.
Yeah.
Right now for everyone,
Yeah.
relevant
Fine.
for everyone. Can we called orchestration means a controller who manage or control the automation? Yes, Saurabh, definitely. An orchestration, you can say, is an agent which has a series of automations in place. So, like you can definitely say it's a controller who can like manage the different automations. The next question is from Amol Powale. I have Cisco firewall with VPN connectivity for all users to access Citrix app. Is it secure? So to answer this, I think that by default it like maybe secured, but if you like you have rolled out the access key and the secret key, or say the username password for the Cisco firewall, like maybe you can check if that like username or password say doesn't get leaked out or something like that, right? So some of the other questions are, what are some popular SOAR engines? You can say like some of the popular SOAR engines are Demisto, Phantom, like Weird Cyber have our own SOAR right now. So you can like out of the box, I have this three in mind. There are also some open source like SOAR engines available. I can say like some of the Demisto part is also open source and readily available for everyone to use. There is also like one another SOAR engine. I'm like not able to recollect right now, but it's also like again like open source. Okay, I guess that's it from the Q&A part.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, everyone is free to keep asking questions. So as and when people have questions, so they can just quickly hit the Q&A tab, and stick the questions, and be more than happy to answer them. So I've noticed that some people are mentioning their questions in the chat. Try and avoid that. Whatever you have, just quickly copy paste that onto the Q&A tab, and then it can easily be directed and answered.
Yep.
Okay, so with that being said, Kaushal, if you want to have a look at any other questions, or we can do this offline, or at the end of Connect.
Yeah, we can like uh,
Okay.
take this up offline or after the connect. We
Okay.
can-
Great.
okay. Yep. Thank you, everyone.
So that was Kaushal Parekh, as everyone can see. Great presentation on cloud security, orchestration, and automation. A nice guy. I've known him for quite some time now. He's an active member of the Null Mumbai chapter. So great guy. He's highly sought after. I mean, I got his name long time back when it was in regards to data sciences. So I was asked to refer to him for some information. So very good guy. I kept in touch with him. Really nice. So great. With that being said, we move on to. So yeah, this is one of the things that the Social Geek Award. It's a great chance for people to win a 1,000 rupee Amazon gift voucher since the past few times. So it's simple. Tweet on Twitter or post on Facebook using our handles. It's hashtag NIF Konnect and @NIF HQ, and you stand a chance of winning a 1,000 rupee Amazon gift voucher. Now the best post and the best tweet is what gets it. So we'll obviously make it public and obviously announce the winner. Likewise, we'll send out an email because it's very simple for that to happen. So please go ahead, go postal on the posts. As yeah, another thing that we strongly stand by is the community. It's very important. It's not just about technology. It's not just about working together and sharing ideas and all this, and sharing security and or health tips, or something that can give you not only a strong body but a strong mind. That is the most important thing of the community, right? So any questions, if you'd like to come on to Connect and present, just feel free to write to us at connect@nif.it. If you have any questions about Connect, all you need to do is go to stack.nif.it. Our people are there, readily answering questions as it's being raised. And if you'd like to present, feel free to come on board with us. Write to us and let us know your topic that you'd like to talk about. Okay, and your name. And just give us a brief, and we'll be more than happy to get in touch with you and take this forward. Moving on to our next presenter, so Harshita Chawla, as you can see, she will be talking about detection of attack techniques using NIF, and it's based on the Mitre framework. So Harshita is very excited to get on board and be a presenter of Connect. Obviously, so she's a bit miffed that I I goofed up with the her introduction. So I told her privately that she has to do her own introduction. So she's a bit miffed on it, but hopefully she can do it easily. Okay, so without further ado, I'll just pass it on to Harshita to take it forward.
Thank you so much, Mervin. Hi, everyone. So I'm Harshita Chawla, and I work here in NIF as a cybersecurity analyst. I hope I'm audible. And okay, so
Yes,
without
you're
further
you're you're audible. Sorry, you're audible.
thank you, Mervin. So I'll be sharing my screen, Mervin. All right. Okay, so this is my topic for the day: detection of attack techniques using NIF. And I'll be taking MITRE framework for the reference. So let's start with the little basics. What is MITRE framework? As of today, it is a globally accessible knowledge base of adversary tactics and techniques based on real world observations. MITRE developed this attack as a model to document and track various technique attackers use throughout the different stages of a cyber attack so as to infiltrate your network and exfiltrate your data. As you can see, the full form of attack is adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge. Now comes the question, why do we need to use it? Well, with the attackers getting more skilled, we, the defenders, have to level up our game as well, right? It is important to look at cyber attacks from a different point of view. And to achieve that, it is important to not just analyze the indicator of compromises, but also the tactics and techniques that these attackers are using. MITRE is trying to break down and classify attacks in a clear manner that makes it easier to find out how an attacker exploited your network and endpoint. The defined tactics and techniques are clubbed into a matrix, which is further divided into three different categories. One is your enterprise matrix. It's made of tactics and techniques that applies on Windows, Linux, and your Mac machines. Then comes your pre-attack matrix. It contains tactics and techniques that are related to what attackers do before they try to exploit a particular target. Then comes the mobile matrix. It basically applies to all the mobile devices. Now, how NIF plays a role in the detection of these attacks. It's a next-gen SIEM tool with advanced security analytics and response automation. It centralizes security notifications from multiple security tools and endpoints like OS, firewall, web server, and many more. It collects the logs real time and passes the data into relevant fields and stores them, and then provides you with a platform to analyze the logs real time so as to detect real time threats. Today, I'll be covering two techniques from the MITRE framework. One is system network connections discovery, and one will be from system time discovery. So let's start with the first one, system network connections discovery. This comes under the tactic discovery. In this, the adversaries, which are the attackers, they may attempt to get a listing of network connections from the compromised system they're currently accessing or from remote systems by querying for information over the network. It normally occurs over an operation, as in this step, they're trying to learn the environment, the behavior. It's a part of the chain of behavior that could lead to other activities like the lateral movement in a cyber attack chain. Okay, so let's move towards the demo now. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I'll be I have installed sysmon and nxlog as to fetch the logs from my system and to give it to NIF console. Uh, and here I'll be executing the commands, and then we'll try to analyze those logs in the NIF console. Okay. So this netuse command I'm using here.
Ashita, I think you have to share your screen. We're not able to properly see the new console if you're showing it us.
Oh, okay, okay. Just a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if you could start from the start again. Just it's a simple thing of hitting the share button. You'll have to share the.
Okay, just a second. Can you see now?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I'll be executing the commands here and see it on the NIF console. I'm using the netuse command to see the list of network connections. Then I've used netstart ANP or TCP to know all the TCP connections. And I'm using the net session command to see any incoming connections which were not there, so I didn't get any result. Now, on the NIF console, first of all, I'll try to see the logs of the commands that I executed. Since I just told you that I'm using nxlog and sysmon as my devices to fetch the logs. I've taken the duration as 5 minutes because I just performed the attack here. And as I just told you, it works real time. So I don't have to take very long duration because I just executed the commands. I am using device source IP here because right now I just need to locate the logs that I just generated. So see, if you can see, we can see in the $app section, we have net.exe, netstart.exe. Let's move towards the right. We have the domain username here. In the event description, you can see the net command, TCP IP netstart command. Further on, in the log name, you can see Windows sysmon. The logs are coming from sysmon, and the user is Harshita Chawla. See, now we have the logs of the particular command. Now, what we need to do is we need to form a DQL, which is NIF query language, to identify these attacks without giving them directly the device source IP, right? So the process and the parent process, if you can see, we can see the exact command that I executed there. So probably this is one of the major information that I can use here to form the DQL. I am using the regex command here because net command is used for a lot of different purposes. Like it can be used for any aspect of network and its setting, and it can also be used to perform operations on groups, users, account policies, and many more. So instead of putting directly the command, I'll be using regex and the particular instances to discover the network connections. Some of the famous attack groups like a PT32, 41, Black Energy, and there are many more who use all these techniques, like system network connection discovery or system time discovery or system user discovery, whenever they're executing an attack on a system. So we might end up missing these, but these are the important aspects that should be covered from the defense point of view. So I have used here group count unique process. The reason I'm using is because once I identify that my network that someone is trying to see my network connections, I want to see what command that person used. So dollar process will help me with what process ran there. Dollar user will help me with who was the user who tried to attempt. In this case I am, but like normally it will not be me, right? Then we have device source IP, which will tell you on what particular device it was attempted. Command that normally gets executed through PowerShell, but if you're executing it through command prompt, you have to write PowerShell.exe. This command will again give you about the current TCP connections that are there. So we'll try to locate this in NIF console as well. Now, if this command is executed directly in the PowerShell, for that you have different settings that you need to, I would say, enable. But since we are checking it from command prompt as of now, so we'll get to see different kind of results. Okay, if you see in the dollar action also, we are getting the process creation and okay. So I was going right and left to look for the logs and what all data I am getting in the fields. And you're seeing these different fields because the data is correctly parsed. Uh, the raw data that we got from the device is correctly parsed here in the fields. That's why you can see all these things so systematically here. In the dollar app section, if you can see, it's just showing PowerShell.exe. Okay, it's not really showing you the command, that what command was executed here. So to see the command, we have to further see. Probably the dollar process section will give us the command. First, I tried with the dollar app, but then when we scroll a little right, we'll see dollar process also. So I'll be clubbing this particular query with the query that I was using earlier for network connection discovery, because they both are from the same use case. And we'll try to see if we are getting the correct results here. Okay, so we've got one result here because the duration needs to be changed now. It was 5 minutes. Making the DQL, like your duration has to be perfect. Now let's go on to the second. Can you see my screen? I hope so. Wait.
At present, nothing is being shared. So
Okay.
yeah, we see the presentation again.
My next technique is system time discovery. System time is set and stored by the Windows Time Service within a domain to maintain time synchronization between the system and the services that are running in an enterprise network. Adversary may gather the system time or the time zone from a local or remote network. They can use the information again to carry out other techniques like executing a file at a particular time. Some attackers use this technique while deploying logic bombs or time bombs on your system. Okay. Now let's once again go with the demonstration. Just a second. Can you see my screen? I hope so.
Yes, yes.
So, okay. NetType command is basically used to manage your network time and see the time on the host machine.
So just a small message that if anyone has any questions specifically for Harshita, they can just hit the Q&A tab and go ahead and mention their question. Just mention Harshita's name hyphen the question so that it makes it easy for people to identify. So feel free, go ahead and hit the Q&A tab for questions.
Once again, after the execution of the commands, we'll try to locate the logs in the NIF console. Since I'm trying to locate logs here, that is why I'm using the public IP of my system. I mean, the system on which the command was executed. So if you can see these logs, we have identified the particular commands that we use there. Once we go to the right, you see the event description. It's very clearly written that, what exactly was attempted. Once again, we have the parent process and the process, and we have the username with us. System name is also there with us. We can see on what particular system the commands were executed. Now we'll try to form the DQL so that the next time we want to locate such kind of logs, we don't have to use device source IP. Rather, we get this on a platter using these DQLs. Now the only commands we can see here are the ones that we executed before. Now from these logs, what are the things, what are the fields that we want to see if someone's attempting? What are the fields that we want to see as an alert? So that's what we'll put here in group count unit. Like we'll like to know the process, the user, probably the device source IP on which device it was performed, and system name will also help us here. So while forming these DQs, what we're trying to do is we are trying to see the common things, between these logs, something that will give us this confidence ki okay, this particular thing is related to only, can be related to this command, and can be related to this attack. So like whenever we are trying to see the time or the network connection, we can see that our action is constant there. So probably whenever we are doing it, a process is added, a process is spawned in with the command, so we can use that to our advantage. And we know that logs are coming from the sysmon, so this is an advantage to us, and which can we can use while forming the DQL. Okay. Um, with this, I move towards the end of my presentation. I hope you all learned something new today. And if you guys have any question, please reach out to me at this uh, email ID, or your questions, please address here.
Okay, great. That was
Over to you,
Harshita.
Mervin. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Harshita. So that was Harshita with her presentation, right? And those attack techniques and using NIF. So basically, it's one of the things that we try to do at this point in time is what we usually do is we have live demonstrations, right, happening from both sides. But I think with this certain equation that we're stuck in, doing work from home, it usually doesn't happen, and for all those who've given demonstrations and presentations, you really have to pray to the demo gods, right? And make sure that for everything to work, the stars have to align and everything has to come together for everything to work. So this was a better thing that it, in a controlled environment, a recording done and everything works out really well. So thank you, Harshita, once again. Hope to see you for further NIF, NIF Connect sessions. And
Definitely.
yeah. So yeah, again, please feel free. Community members are open, to come ahead and share their knowledge and become a Connect community hero. Okay, so that includes all presenters are applicable to receive an Amazon gift voucher with rupees 1,000. So that's guaranteed. Like for as a presenter, that's what you get. So that's one of the things. Word of thanks to Harshita and Kaushal, for prepping their presentations. They have a heap load of work that is there. They're doing their work at the same time. They took the time out, to come here and present at this time. So we're trying a lot of stuff with them, so there are plans for the future connect as well. So so stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm actually talking to some a leading name in threat intel service providers, and trying to work with them to get more info on and present on connect, like what kind of phishing attacks are we looking at, what are the sources, where are all of this coming from. So it'd be great to have them on board and you come on connect and present something. So working on that, but you can rest assured that we're coming up with a new connect, and that's already the wheels are rolling on that, and it will be coming out soon. So yeah, since I've already ended with thanking our guest presenters, this is one of the major things that's going to happen right now. We're stuck. It's about 2 weeks, I believe, past 2 weeks that we've been at home. So previously I used to say don't be a desk potato, but now I'm going to say don't be a couch potato, because most of us are lounging on our on our sofas or on our beds and working. So eat right, work out, please stay active and stay healthy. That's very important at this point in time, because with this work, we don't have any proper work times anymore. It's like people calling and working at odd times, and you can get a call, especially people in cybersecurity, because they can get a call at any point in time. So that kind of gets to you, and then you end up overeating and eating the wrong stuff and not working out. It's very important. Please, 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 it's as a request, everyone, please start working out. If it is already part of your routine and your schedule, well and great, keep up to it, but also eat healthy. It's one of the aspects. And remember, we're all in this together. All of us are in this together. We're all stuck at home. We're all working. So just keep in mind some of the tips and tricks that we shared today. A healthy lifestyle. Schedule yourself. Make sure that you stick to your schedule. You ensure that you do not overwork. You give yourself enough time for rest and relaxation, and you also meditate. It's very important, and connect with people around you. Make sure that uh, you stay away from keep the risk to a minimum, but also interact with people in the best way possible. And that boosts your boosts the I think the immune system, and it gets rid of stress. That really helps. So with that, I would like to end this session, and thank you very much. Would like to thank again Harshita and Kaushal for presenting. As I mentioned, we're coming up with the next connect very soon, and hopefully we're going to be with the current lockdown, and hopefully fingers crossed, if it doesn't extend and we do good, right, and the pandemic doesn't spread any further, we can see more stuff coming out, more information coming out. So yeah, that's it from me. Thank you very much, everyone, once again, and stay safe, stay indoors. Okay, thank you all.